You're listening to episode 151 of the Master Your Mind, Business, and Life podcast. It's Wednesday. You are here with me. I'm grateful and blessed. I hope that wherever you are in the world right now, you are feeling grateful and blessed too. And guess what? If you're not, that's okay. Because if I'm going to be real, life hasn't been all rainbows and sunshine in my neck of the woods either. In fact, I tend to highlight the highs on the show, and I typically don't share my lows until I've worked through them. Well, not today, boo. I am sharing an ongoing challenge that I've been navigating in life, sharing how it's affected me and how I'm leaning into it. I wouldn't even say I'm leaning into it with grace, but I'm leaning. So if you're going through the thick of it too, I hope this episode helps you in some shape or form, even if it's just to remind you that you are not alone. This episode is brought to you by Spiritually Seeking. When you head over to spiritually-seeking.com and use the promo code MindBizLife, you'll save 20% off your order. From numerology reports to card readings and other products, you'll find what you need to aid you on your spiritual seeking journey. Visit spiritually-seeking.com and use promo code MindBizLife to score 20% off your order. Okay, are you ready for this solo episode? You know what to do. Tune in, turn it up, let's go.
You're listening to Master Your Mind, Business and Life. Conversations with everyday world shifters, truth seekers, and rule breakers. Here's your host, Lauren Smith.
I wanted to do a solo episode this week, but I wasn't really sure on what I wanted to talk about or share. In fact, I don't really know even to this in this moment. I figured I would just allow the words to flow out of me, and whatever message came out would be the truth that I needed to share. So I guess we'll just see how this goes. I'm seriously doing this with no notes, nothing. Like I have no outline for this because if I'm being truthful, life has been a little tough lately. I know each week you're greeted by a cheerful voice from a gregarious host who loves to share and teach, inspire, challenge, and, spread the good vibes. But just like you, I am living the human experience, and sometimes that means that life just comes from all directions, and it makes you just want to wave that white flag of surrender, go off grid, and not do life anymore. Now, I know you know what I'm talking about. In fact, so many of my friends and family members have echoed this same sentiment over the past few days, weeks, even months. We know that the energy right now is heavy. I mean, 2020 in itself has been heavy for the collective all around the globe. But then we're faced with these various personal challenges. And these personal challenges can feel so damn overwhelming. And for some of these challenges, when you look at the big picture of them, they can seem pretty trivial. So I guess, what I'm thinking right now is why are these trivial challenges so heavy? I think it's because most of the time they're just piling up on us and they're fueling the pain points that we've ignored for a while. And then these trivial things come to a head and boom, you're feeling like you're in life's pit, feeling all woe is me. I feel you. Because I'm feeling pretty woe is me too right now. And let me tell you why. In the past 10 days, I have been to the shop with my car 4 times with the problem still not fixed. And then on Sunday, my car broke down for a reason completely unrelated to the reason it was in the shop to begin with. And then last week, I lost over 4 months worth of work on the Mind Biz Life website. That included my most recent 60 podcast episode show notes, my freebies, and quite literally any type of change that I've made to my website since May. And here's the kicker. We haven't had consistent hot water for about 6 weeks now. But those issues that I just mentioned, they're kind of my trivial issues. They're building upon one big issue that has been a pain point for nearly 5 years now. My house is falling apart from the inside out. We are having so many water problems, I would need a full episode in itself to break down every single thing going wrong within the house right now. But to give you the Cliff Notes version, I mentioned our hot water heater, but we also have water damaged floors. We've needed a new drain field for the septic for about 2 years now. So every time it rains a lot or we take a shower after it's rained a lot, the septic backs up into the house. Not only that, our water softener hasn't worked since we moved in 8 years ago, and the hard water is now corroding all of the pipes, the appliances, the showers, the sink, spigots, handles. I mean, you name it, if water touches it, it's corroding it. There's so much more, but I think you get the picture at this point. The struggle with this house has been ongoing for some time. One of my mentors encouraged me to lean into gratitude every time I get angry or annoyed at the house, or its condition, or at my landlords for not fixing anything, or whatever it may be. An example is every time my mind goes to F this house, you stupid piece of beep, I hate this house, whatever it may be, I then quickly move into this house has been good to us. I'm grateful it's kept my family safe. We've created a new life here. We've created beautiful memories here. I'm blessed to have a home as so many others do not. This I can do. I can lean into gratitude all day long, but what I have realized is it doesn't really change the facts of the situation that caused the stress in my home, because at the end of the day, my house is falling apart. It's draining my energy and it drains my joy and sometimes even my hope. So it's no secret that I am very intuitive. I sense energy and vibes. I oftentimes get, and I know this will sound crazy to some, but I get premonitions or dreams about what's going to happen next or what I'm to do next. And at this point in life, I feel stuck. And although now that I say stuck out loud, that's not really what I mean, because stuck implies that I can't move. And I can. I just don't know where to. In fact, I don't know that this city or even this state feels right anymore. I don't know what's best for my family. I don't know what the best choice is. Everything I've looked at, all of the options that I've explored, they don't feel right. When a plane is awaiting permission to land and they're just flying in the sky around and around in circles, just going around and around, nowhere to go. They're just waiting for guidance and direction. They're flying in what's called a holding pattern. And that's how I feel right now. I feel like I am in a holding pattern. Now, I wouldn't say that I'm currently at a rock bottom in life, because I have been at rock bottom before, at least a level of rock bottom. And I've experienced this holding pattern at my rock bottom. And so many times we're told that when we hit this rock bottom, that the only place we have to look is up. And while that's incredibly true, looking up gives us hope of what can be. But when we're still at that ground zero, before we can start climbing those stairs to go up, we have got to stop and just catch our breath. We've got to just be. One thing that I've learned about this holding pattern is that it requires you and allows you to just really be, to be present, to be still, to be patient, to be aware of how you feel, to be aware of the choices, to be aware of what action steps need to be taken in order to create change, to just be. Now, the holding pattern can cause a ton of anxiety. In the midst of everything going on with my house, I realized that part of being in this holding pattern gives me a lot of time to pack, to purge, and to save. It's allowing me time to prepare for a move in more ways than one that I may not have had if I had to rush out of here, right? Or if I had just kind of been forced out very quickly. So I can still be in a mode of gratitude for my house while being annoyed at the challenges that it's throwing at me. But right now, I think what's best is I just be grateful for this holding pattern, for the pause, and for the chance to reflect and to plan. The plane can't stay in its holding pattern forever. It'll run out of fuel. But the holding pattern isn't meant to be a destination. It's sometimes just part of the journey until you can arrive at your destination safe, and secure. That means that action will need to be taken. The plane must take action to leave the holding pattern, and so must I, as do you. But when it comes to taking action, make sure it's inspired action. Inspired action comes from a place of alignment, making sure that the choice you're making is in alignment with the greater good of the betterment of your life. Inspired action will create joy and happiness. Now, I could easily go down the block and get an apartment, move the whole fam bam into the apartment, and rid myself of this house, these struggles, these ongoing nuances. But an apartment isn't what I want. It's not what I'm saving money for. It's not going to give that outside space that I desire. It's not going to elevate the overall happiness of my life. In fact, I'd feel as if I was settling. That's not inspired action. That's just action. Would that action give me instant gratification of losing some of the stress? Hell yeah. But would it also put me right back into the cycle of not being where I want it to be? Yes. So before you take the action, ask yourself, does this feel exciting? Is this in alignment with the person I want to be? Does this make my soul smile? Am I forcing this to happen, or are there too many things pushing back? Inspired action should feel exciting. It should align with the person that you want to become. It should make your soul smile. You know, when you get all of the feels all over, that's when your soul is smiling. But it should never feel like you're in a state of force versus flow. If too much is just pushing back, that's often a great indicator that maybe you should just chill in that holding pattern for a little bit longer to allow yourself the space and time to figure out a new plan that's inspired. Whew. Okay, well, I wasn't really even anticipating all of that to come out of me, but I think I just had a mic drop moment, so maybe this is a good place to just wrap it up. I hope this provided you something to think about today. If something resonated with you while you're listening, be sure to share it with me. I'm everywhere on social media at MindBizLife. You know, I don't know what's next for me and my journey, but as soon as I begin to take those next inspired action steps, I'll be sure to let you know. I'll see you back here on Friday for another episode of Fuel Your Life Friday, but until then, remember, every level of life is an opportunity to grow. Be well, my friend.